make it. This will be recording today, so it will be available on the website for them. And I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody since we have a small group. So if you do want to be muted, just go ahead and remute yourself. All right. So we're going to go, this will take about 30, 35 minutes. I'm going to go through some of the mentor training, review a few things that were actually shown at the launch in case you weren't able to attend. And then I'll go through a couple of project examples for school districts that have already gotten started. All right, and what is the Green Schools Challenge? I think all of you know this by now, but just so we're all starting on the same page, USGBC is challenging selected Central Virginia schools to devise and implement, with the help of professional green mentors, all of you, the most creative, effective, and no or low-cost sustainable practices for their schools and communities. And the challenge goals, which I encourage you to go over with the school districts once you get paired up with them if you aren't already, go through these and this will help define your project: to energize sustainable curriculum in the school systems, lower the school operating and maintenance costs, reduce the carbon footprint, increase the facility's indoor air quality, improve the learning and teaching environment, conserve natural resources, encourage students to think creatively about sustainability, promote environmental stewardship, encourage the school to be the community epicenter, and create a generation of environmentally conscious adults, and engage the business community, which is happening naturally through this partnership. And the structure for the awards is still being, we're going to get that out in the next couple of weeks, but these are going to be some of the things that we'll be looking for. It's the sustainable curriculum, the amount of the operation and maintenance cost savings, energy reduction, carbon footprint reduction, indoor air quality improvement, the details of a recycling program, if that's what the project is, resources reuse and reduction, creating an outdoor or indoor learning environment, community involvement and public engagement, maybe some innovative project concepts that have come about through the project, school-wide engagement and implementation, and dedicated and effective mentors. And our mentor pool that we have right now, we have architects, engineers, we have some specialty contractors, green material vendors, and I'd say about 75% of the mentors we have are lead APs as well. And we have 2 students from the University of Virginia. And this is a full list. I know you guys already have your preferred areas that you'll be working with, but this is going to be a list of all the potential school district partners in our region. And I do actually have to add Williamsburg, because we recently found out that they're in our region and not Hampton Roads. So mentor responsibilities, this is what you guys have committed to by being mentors, is to provide sustainability, expertise, and guidance at your assigned school, to complement the teacher's efforts to provide a sustainable curriculum, commit to a minimum of 4 hours per month of personal time mentoring within the assigned school or district. Some people are working with the whole district. Help students and teachers green their schools for little or no cost. Help the assigned school compete for special recognition in the Green Schools Challenge. And again, that criteria will be given out in the next couple of weeks. And attend this mentor training workshop. And so just to go over the timeline, the official launch of the Green Schools Challenge was in December. And last month through this month, we'll be matching everybody up and getting them started in the school. May 2011 will be the conclusion of the Green Schools Challenge, and then June 2011 it will be the Green Schools Challenge award ceremony. So the initial contact with schools, based on the people on the call, I think most of you have been paired up. So the contact information has been provided to you, or I know we have Brenna, I think, on the call, and she had an existing contact at a school. So for those people, it's already an existing contact, and I would not be providing that information for you. If the school is signed up with a project in mind, we've had some schools come in and they definitely want to do a garden project, then I will relay that to the mentor. And ideally, the mentor is going to have an interest in the area, which has been pretty easy to pair those up so far. And that information will be provided to you. And once you get paired up with the school and make that initial contact, it's important to review the Connect the Dots Challenge goals and define the project scope with your school contact. So like I said, some of the schools are coming in with a project scope in mind, like the garden project. Some schools are coming in with an idea, like they generally want to focus on energy conservation, but they don't have a specific project in mind. So once you get, and that initial call should be pretty easy, or meeting, to see what the school is generally interested in, and then you can work on your project from there. And I highly encourage you to work with your skill set and with the skill set of your initial contact or your main contact in the school. And keep in mind the number of students and staff that will be helping with the project. We've had, it varies across the board. Our region is pretty diverse in Central Virginia. We have projects ranging from one mentor working with one staff contact, and they're doing a project for the whole division. It's a smaller division with only 4 schools. And then I believe it's in Rico with Patrick Henry High School. They've committed 100-plus students and 8 staff members to this project. So it's going to vary a lot. And that scope is going to be taken into account with the award ceremony as well. Get an idea of any environmental initiatives that are already started or start a new initiative. If the project is long-term, define the portion that will be part of the challenge. So for example, let's say they've decided to go for LEED for existing buildings, but you're not going to have time to go through the whole LEED for existing buildings checklist. But maybe you pick 3 or 4 of those credits to go after, and that's what your project is. So it can be a smaller part of a larger project. And just some project scope tips. Keep in mind the project time frame. It's from now, or if you've already been working with your school from the past month through May. Design and planning can be part of your project. I had somebody ask if they didn't think they'd have time to implement the full garden. They were going to do a garden design and plan, but they weren't going to have the resources to implement it within the time frame. So that's fine. The planning and design can be your project. And another example is writing a grant application. Typically, if that's going to be the project that you're working on, you're not going to get a response generally before May. And many schools are reporting that they had a project or initiative that started and lost momentum, and I found this is a great opportunity for the mentor to get in there and reinvigorate the project and get it going again. So working with your contacts, I did have one school concerned or a division concerned that somebody maybe somebody was working with them from a company that they do business with, and they didn't want that person to come back and say, oh, well, you should select us for this project in the future because we helped you with the Connect the Dots challenge. So just keep in mind that none of that should be going on. Your initial contact may not be your project contact. An example of this happened with Greene County. We're starting with the director of facilities to discuss possibilities, but they're probably, once the mentor and the facilities director decide what the project's going to be, that person's going to move on to a different contact. So this is one of our first example projects. King William County Schools was really, really interested in getting started as quickly as possible, and they just had a general idea about a project dealing with energy conservation. So I hooked them up with a mentor that had an interest in working with the school on energy conservation, which worked out really well. And the mentor made the initial contact to determine the baseline of needs and project desires. So first you had to figure out, what do they have? Do they even have billing data? Are they collecting it? Do they have any kind of database in place? What do they have so far? And they do not have anything in Portfolio Manager, so that's going to be what their project focuses on, is getting all that information into Portfolio Manager. And this mentor needed some resources to help the district start with Portfolio Manager, so I put him in touch with one of my contacts at EPA who helped them out, and I think they got started yesterday with an in-person meeting. And that scope, your initial scope may be increased to include energy behavioral change and conservation lessons if time permits. So again, that scope doesn't have to be something that's non-moving. Another example, this is a school, Mary Munford Elementary School. They're actually the first school to sign up for the challenge. They came in with a mentor to help them specifically with a garden project. So we were able to pair them with a landscape architect mentor to help them design a project, and they should have time for implementation in the spring. Another thing that I'm working on that will come out in the next 2 weeks with that awards, the awards kind of criteria, will be progress reports, and they'll be submitted over the course of the challenge, and we'll probably do 2 of these. And a final project description and summary will be turned in before the award ceremony in June 2011. And I will send, again, details about this after this training. And something to keep in mind, I know we have the Southwest Virginia chapter is trying to do this with a lot of their projects that are part of the challenge. Taking YouTube videos of your projects as you're doing them, and they can be uploaded onto the Green Dots Build website. And if you have any of these, this is also a great way to bring the students into this. I know I don't really know the first thing about doing a YouTube video, so I would ask the student group to help me, and I think they'd be thrilled to work on something like this. So again, document your project, take pictures. That'll also be something that will be part of the award ceremony. And if you get those done, we can upload them to our site. If you have any problems with the initial contact, if it was something I gave to you or an initial contact that you had that's not working out very well, let me know and we'll try to work another way around. This is not the same for every school district. It's kind of finding the contacts the best way you can. I've contacted every school district that we're trying to work with, and some of them are just non-responsive, so it'll be working in another angle. So if you have any problems like that with the contacts, just let me know, and we'll try to find another way to get the person that we need to talk to. And again, thank you to our premier sponsors, SHW Group and James River Air Conditioning, and to our gold sponsor, Aero Integrated Solutions. So we'll go back. I think, let's see who we have on the call. You guys feel free to speak up. We have a small call today, so if you guys have any questions or if you've had any initial problems with your schools or your contacts, let me know. Anybody have any questions or any success stories already? Is Nat on the call? Brenna? Okay, guys. Well, I think everybody's being quiet, so I assume you don't have any questions.
Lindsay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't. This is Richard. I don't think I have any questions. But can you tell how many of those, like, how many projects do you have so far?
We have about, we have about 20 schools paired up.
Okay, cool.
And we have about 30 mentors, so there's a little bit more that we're working on. And what's nice is that the mentors kind of indicate the district that they'd like to work with.
Yeah.
And we have them, I've made contact with all of those districts, and they're pretty spread out around our region, so we're going to have a lot of coverage around our part.
Cool. Okay, thanks.
No problem. Brenna, do you have a question? I see this question panel come up. Everybody should be unmuted. I don't see a question.
Lindsay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, this is Brenna. I'm sorry. I was on listening through my computer, and now I just dialed it on the phone, and I've got a terrible echo.
I can hear you.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm on, and I don't have any questions. It was a great presentation.
Okay. And this will be posted. I'll make sure all of our mentors that weren't able to attend one of these 2 sessions gets to see this. But yeah, you can keep me posted, and I'll get the progress reports and the awards criteria out to everybody so you can have that in mind while you're selecting your project. And unless anybody has objections, I was going to send the entire mentor list and who they're paired with to all of the mentors in the next week. So that information will be available to everybody. And another point of doing that is you will see kind of the firms and the expertise of the other mentors and be able to lean on them if your project is going in a different direction and you need a little bit of help. So that's another great resource that's coming out of this challenge. Thanks, guys, for attending, and have a good week.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.